What's up, guys? Happy Saturday afternoon, man. It's AWO here in order. You know what time it is. Moon Knight spoiler review. We're gonna go in spoiler review territory for this movie, like my thumbnail says. Oh my god. Hi, George. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just reading a DM group. It's really toxic right now. Oh, good lord. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, Isaac. I'm sorry. What's going on, Isaac? I know, George. I'm sorry, Isaac. I know I'm supposed to be talking about Moon Knight, but I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the DM group, and I gotta get my headset. Sorry, that's why I'm standing. Um, yeah. I'm reading the chat, man. That DM group. Your DM group, Isaac. Uh, uh, Chaotic in there. uh, really chaotic in there. I'm. I don't know. That's your group. You do what you want with that group, but with your DM group, I'm sorry. I'm gonna fight people on. I was gonna send in the link to the invite in that group, Isaac, but I don't want the toxicity. Like, it's not your fault, but I don't want that to come onto my show. So I'm gonna leave it in a different. If you want to come on, I'm gonna leave it in a different group. Okay? I don't want that toxicity to come to my show, and I'm not blaming you, Isaac, for it. I'm like, I don't want. Okay? I hope you understand. If you want to come on, you can still come. I'll send you personally the link. Okay? And George, I know you just saw it. And George, oh yeah, yeah. Okay, Isaac, I understand. Um, I'll send the link in the DMs if you see it. It's there. Okay. I gotta get my friend. Where's my friend Blind Braille? Blinded, where are you, buddy? There you go. I'm sorry. I'm really. Oh, all right. All right. Let me. I know you just popped in, George. Thank you for popping in. I'll add you in just a minute. Just a second. Hello, George.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh yeah. So you just got back?
Yes, I just got back and
Oh, I could tell
I'm
by your
st-
reaction.
I'm still processing what I saw. I'm like texting with a friend because like he asked if I wanted to like do a review of Morbius for the movie nerds?" And I said, "Sure." And I'm like telling him like this is not worth seeing in theaters because he says there's no way he's seeing it in theaters.
Uh, yeah. It's not a particularly good movie. Look, I'll say this: it's not as bad as people made it out to be, but it's not really, really good. No.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I was enjoying the first half of it. I was like, okay, this is not terrible, but it could be possibly better than the first Venom film. And then the second half just lost me. I was like, what the hell is this turning into? And then the post
Yeah.
credit scenes, I was like, did they seriously just do this?
Yeah, you know what? I know she hates Jessica Chastain, and she didn't. She definitely. She look. I know that's a little off topic, but I know because you. I know why you're mentioning Grace because of the tweet she made about Morbius yesterday about the people. Yeah,
Well,
whatever. She doesn't acknowledge Jessica Chastain winning the Oscar. She doesn't acknowledge anything for Jessica Chastain. Like,
yeah, it could be because like I made a comment in the chat about how Grace Randolph talks about bullying a
yeah,
movie when she
yeah.
bullies Jessica Chastain.
How do you bully a movie? A movie has feelings.
Oh, yo, she's gonna die on a hill defending this movie like
I
she did
think.
with Wonder Woman 1984.
I think. I think what she should have said. You shouldn't bully fans that actually like the movie. That'd been better.
Yeah,
Like,
but like she
I don't know.
no, she's doing the same. No, she's doing twice what she did with Wonder Woman 1984 when she was defending that movie. She's defending this movie even more.
Okay, yeah, like she liked the movie. Okay, she liked the movie. Like, what? And people are attacking her for liking the movie, and like, okay, but I think she should have tweeted it better. You shouldn't attack people for liking the movie. I think she should say something like that. People don't want look. Why do I want to see a movie fail? Fail. Personally, I look. Morbius is not a good movie, but I don't want to see it fail.
Yeah, and look, here's the thing: it's okay to like movies that are not well received. Like I like
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman and Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Having said that, I understand why people have issues with it, and I'm not gonna go after the people who hate those movies.
No. No. Exactly. Exactly. I feel like it's a problem with this. This is an issue between the Snyderverse fans and the non Snyderverse fans. Having like, and then the Snyderverse fans here. A little off topic. Snyderverse fans think everybody hates the Snyderverse move, like the BVS Man of Steel. Even the ones that are not that don't know exactly like right. Like we like them, and other
Yeah.
people, even people that criticize them, like them. The people that criticize them like them. But everybody thinks that the Snyderverse says everybody thinks they're against them, hates those movies, which is not true. It's
Yo,
not true.
here's the thing: they gang up on John Campia because he said the Snyder Cut didn't exist. Here's the thing, though: Campia
He's
is a
right.
Snyder fan. He loves Man of Steel. He defended Batman versus Superman for the
Yes,
longest time. Like
but
people
they
forget,
didn't.
like, and that was the theatrical cut he was defending. The cut that
He
that most people, even Snyder fans, do not like.
here's the thing: the caveat was actually cut it right. You want to know why? Because if he had to cut, it would be the whole movie. He would have had the whole movie done. Snyder's version would be the whole movie done. Then he would have then the cut would be true. He's right though. He's right. Caveat's actually right.
But I'm just saying, like, people don't consider Campy a Snyder fan when he defended Man of Steel and Batman
No,
versus
he
Superman for
called
the
it a
longest amount of time.
masterpiece.
Yo, he defended the theatrical cut of BVS, which even some Snyder fans hate.
Hey, Degrassi. Yeah, yeah, and he like it's not a cut. Really didn't they people people have to understand Campio what the misinterpret Campio what he meant by Snyder cut. What he meant was like there is no 100% completion movie of the Snyder cut at the time. Like there was no 100% completion. Warner Bros. Gave him 70 million to finish his movie. 70 million. 70 million. And you know how much his movies are to make? Well, I've checked this on Wikipedia. You can take Wikipedia with a grain of salt, but 250 to 300 million to make the Justice League in BVS. That's how much the budget was for those movies. That's way too much. I mean, We can have stuff. We can have movies. There are movies that make 100 to 200 million, but 250 to 300 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point to make. And look, I've been a supporter of release the Snyder cut. I've been a big Snyder fan for years. It's just when it comes to the restore thing, it's kind of hard to see. And even with the rumors of Batfleck, but door being open for Batfleck, I always said Affleck and Cavill can return, but that does not mean the Snyder arc's going to continue with them returning.
Here's the thing: Cavill is didn't like Zack Snyder's vision of Superman, and he's hard. And negotiations are not going well with Warner Bros. But from what I read, Cavill didn't like how Superman was turning out. He didn't want Superman to end up like that, like how Snyder was making him to be. Cause Cavill, if you know Cavill, he's a very nerdy guy. He likes his characters to be close to the source material as possible.
Yeah, I can't blame him. He even said like he wants to do a proper Man of Steel sequel before he does another Justice League movie.
Yeah, yeah. And that Cavill, I think you have to, people up there saying they could possibly come back. They could come back, sure, but they're not contracted to Snyder.
Yeah, like again, like I said, they can always come back. Like here's the thing: I think Ben Affleck is open to returning with or without Zack Snyder. Personally, I just don't think it's going to happen at this very moment, especially with how the rumors of the Flash film are going. Where he's gonna survive, but he's gonna be stuck in some different universe or timeline.
Yeah, you know what you could do. You could do.
And like that, and like I said, he can always return, but it's not going to happen with. It's going to happen with or without Zack Snyder.
Yeah, see. Here's the thing. You're right, Degrassi. And then you're right. And then he was shooting the Green Lantern scene, which wasn't approved by Warner Brothers. Remember, Waiting Card. Nothing against Waiting Card. But it wasn't approved by Warner Brothers to shoot the Green Lantern scene for the Snyder Cut that came out last year. And Warner Brothers didn't like that. They said no, because they have plans for their own show. And look, that show is still going forward. You can't. The company gives you $70 million to finish your version of your movie. You can't undermine them doing things without the permission. I'm sorry. Like, you have a contract with them. You can't. If they say no, no. And I know how people are. I know how people are like, oh, directors have freedom control. Freedom control is not always a good thing.
Yeah, that's the truth about that. And look, at the end of the day, like I get it. Like Morbius has all of a sudden just gotten into the Snyderverse debate for some odd reason. I get it because it's because of Jared Leto. And by the way, I will say a positive about this film. I think Jared Leto's a better Morbius than Joker.
Well, yeah, because there was more to do, and I
But
think
but like
yeah.
I feel like I don't know what I've seen of his Joker. There's just something about it that I don't like. With Morbius, like it feels more genuine. It feels more like he feels more like that character.
I'm sorry, but Jared Leto, like, he can't do funny. He can't be funny. Like,
He's not one of my favorite actors. I've kind
yeah.
of said that before. I'm not a big Jared Leto fan. I liked him in this film. Actually, believe it or not, I thought he was good in this film, but I'm not a big Jared Leto
The
fan.
acting wasn't the issue here. It wasn't the acting. It's the
Yeah,
material they had to
because
work with.
yeah, because honestly, like I even liked Tyrese Gibson in this film. Like, yeah, he played the stereotypical FBI agent that's hunting the protagonist, but I even thought he was fine. It was like the story, the special effects, the
They
second
wasted
half.
him. They wasted Tyrese.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
like,
the battle scenes. They're like 2 minutes.
oh, I was like, what the hell am I watching now? And it's like the bad imagery reminded me too much of Batman Begins and Batman versus Superman.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
seriously, like those scenes when he was around the bats, I was like, is this the Batcave scene from Batman Begins? Is this the beautiful lie scene from BVS where the bats are putting young Bruce Wayne into the sky? Yo,
He's
even the
amazing visualist. Yes, I think his storytelling, one thing the one thing that I find weak about Snyder, his weakness is dialogue and storytelling. But visualist, I agree.
yeah, I think Snyder like his writing needs his movies need better writers or something.
Yeah, I mean, I know Chris Terrio. I know, guys. Remember, Chris Terrio did BVS. I think he did Justice League, but we gotta remember he did Rise of Skywalker too.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Chris Terrio is an interesting writer. He started off great with Argo because I love Argo. It's a
Argo's
fantastic,
amazing. Yeah.
fantastic film, in my opinion. One of the few Best Picture movies in the last 10 years that I actually thought deserved it. But then it's like BVS. I mean, I like the Ultimate Edition of BVS, so I'm not going to slam him for that. I love the Snyder Cut, but Rise of Skywalker was a big misfire.
Yes. Yes. Uh, the Morbius look with Morbius, like the battle, the fighting scenes were 2 minutes, were like 2 minutes each of them, whatever. They're like 2 minutes long. That's it. Um, I think they like Tyrese Gibson. I gotta say this: Tyrese Gibson looked like he didn't want to be in this movie.
Yeah, it feels like even though I thought he was fine, it kind of felt like he was kind of phoning it in. Like
Yeah,
Tyrese,
exactly.
like here's the thing,
He didn't
Tyrese is
give a
an
shit.
entertaining actor. He was one of my favorite things about the first three Transformer films. Like he was like one of the few human characters that I loved in those films. I love him in the Fast and Furious films. And here it was like, what did they do to him?
Yeah, he didn't give a shit. He didn't know he gave a shit about being in this
It's
film. You know,
like I wanted to see Tyrese in a
I
comic
mean,
book
his
movie for a
partner
long
was
time.
more interesting. His partner was more interesting. I don't even know that was his partner's name, but he was more interesting.
Yo,
Like,
I'm pretty sure that was the guy that was Ben Affleck's assistant coach in The Way Back.
oh yeah,
But like even like he had more personality. I'm like the one time we get Tyrese in a comic book movie and he's not and he's like the least interesting part of the film. I'm like, what happened? Like he was fine with what he was given, but it was like they could have done more.
mm-hmm. From what I heard, they cut out a lot of like scenes for him. Like that's what I heard. They cut some scenes out for with him in it because look, like he says Morbius, and then like he didn't get involved in the final battle scenes. Like nothing. Like he didn't. You know what? They didn't need Tyrese Gibson for that role. They could have just some. They could have had an actor, but not like I don't know. Like
And it's like, here's the thing. He's like one of the big names in this film. Like Jared
yeah.
Leto, him. Like you already wasted the other big name in Michael Keaton.
Oh, let's talk about after credits. Oh,
Oh,
30 minutes? Yeah, we should be on. We should still be on. Okay, let's talk about this. The two after credit scenes. Michael
trash.
Keaton all of a sudden appears in the cell in the Venom verse because I'm 100%. This has been 100% confirmed. This is the Venom universe. So he appears in a cell. Obviously, doesn't recognize as his prison. But since there's no record of him, he gets released, right? No suspicion of who he is, how he came there, nothing. No, no, no. Like, how did this guy end up here? Like, no, no, no. Just let him go. Just let him go. But like, okay, okay. And then after that, obviously he got there because of the Doctor Strange spell. So somehow he goes. Somehow those villains in the No Way Home go back to your universe. But I guess a mistake happens, and Vulture goes to Venomverse, right? And then after that, we see Jared Leto and Morbius in the car driving up in the desert, waiting for someone. So someone obviously contacted him, and then it turns out to be Vulture, like Michael Keaton, the Vulture, the whatever, the technology, the his whatever he wears. And I'm like, where the fuck did he get that? How did he get that in the universe?
Yeah, because he came in from prison. He didn't come in like stealing Stark tech. Like,
Yeah, and I'm like, they meet up Michael Morbius. He's like, hey, guys, you can meet me here. I'm like, where did the movie did they run into each other?
yo, that's another thing they cut from the film
Yeah,
because he's like, hey, Dr. Morbius, we gotta meet again sometime.
that after credits scene could have worked if they put Michael Keaton scene into the Michael Keaton scene when he gets transported into the into the cell into that movie. They kept that scene into the movie. It could have worked because they could have won each other because they did both won each other in prison. That could have worked if they did that. The second after credit scene would have worked better if they did that. You know, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yo, speaking of things that were in the trailers that were
I
cut,
don't blame Keaton because it does not make sense.
speaking of things that were in the trailer that were cut, apparently the director didn't had no idea Sony put a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man poster
I know.
in their trailer. But yo, the post-credit scene, I'm like, I have so many questions. And I'm so flabbergasted by this. Like, because okay, so you see the ripples in the sky at the beginning. Does no one in that universe see what is going on? Like, like after vampires are like terrorizing New York City, you would think that they would notice something in the sky, like, and start putting some things
And
together.
and he wants to go out, they wants to go after Spider-Man and they want to do some good.
Okay,
And Morbius is like, okay.
okay, this is my other question. So, okay, Vulture got these vulture wings from somewhere. Is this in the Amazing Spider-Man universe?
I
Because
have
that's
no
the only
idea.
other universe that we saw vulture wings from Amazing Spider-Man
What
2.
is the Vulture trying to be a good guy here? Because he says he wants to do a lot of good or something.
Like, is Sony trying to make the Sinister Six the Suicide Squad, where you're taking these villains that
No,
aren't necessarily evil
but
but are
Morbius is not
opportune?
a villain, though. Like,
Exact. Like, okay, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I feel like Vulture, this version of Vulture, could fit in a Suicide Squad where he's not necessarily evil, but he does bad things for his own good and for the good of the people he loves. And it's
yeah.
like, what are you doing here? And here's the thing: if you're forming a supervillain team and you're using an MCU Spider-Man villain, why not just have Quentin Beck fake his death and bring Quentin Beck here?
Oh
Because I
yeah.
feel because I feel like Quentin Beck would be the one that's like,
Mysterio,
I
yeah.
I have no idea why I'm here. He would be furious because think about it. He ruined Spider-Man's life, knew his identity, and then all of a sudden he's in a new universe. He forgets who Spider-Man is. And that's another thing. Does Vulture even remember who Peter Parker is because he's in a new universe?
Oh, he just mentioned Spider-Man because yeah, yeah. Did his memory get erased or not? Because he could
That
possibly got transported. He could probably still know the. It would still probably be Peter Parker, but he could be like, if his memory didn't get erased, like, this is not the Peter Parker that I know.
that's the thing. Like, that's a plot hole because, like,
Yeah.
here's the thing: you're transporting these characters. Okay, so let's just say this is a side effect. A couple characters get transported into this new universe. Okay, so does he still remember because he's in a new universe? Like, that's the thing I'm kind of confused about with this forget Peter Parker thing. Does this only affect the MCU or other universes?
I have no idea.
Because what if, like, in the Toby universe, people forgot who Toby Spider-Man is, or in the Andrew Garfield universe? It's like Madam Web, like can't come soon enough to do course
Yeah.
correction because they have to course correct
Yeah.
this thing.
I think that's just there for because she could do multiverse kind of stuff. I think that's just there for. That's her role in this whole thing. Because otherwise, like the Madam Web would not be in my top 10 list of categories of doing a movie for, unless there's a plan there with her. And yeah, it's like I don't know, man. Like there's definitely a Spider-Man in this universe, but I personally think it might be a new actor for this Spider-Man because they're not gonna use Tom Holland, and I don't know what's going on with Toby. I'd love to be Andrew. I would love to be a Dash Spider-Man, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a different actor playing that
I
universe of
would feel
Spider-Man.
bad for Andrew Garfield if it is because he's getting like the trash right now. Like his
Yes,
Spider-Man movies tend to be considered the worst as it is. Him with Venom and Morbius, like I would actually like to see him and Tom Hardy's Venom together because I have a soft spot for the Venom films. But you
I
throw in
don't.
Morbius,
I don't digress. I really don't. Not with Sony. I don't.
and that's another thing about Craven. So like, okay, so the idea is gonna have eventually gonna be Craven versus Spider-Man. Is Craven in a post-credit scene gonna be transported into the MCU as a side effect and stay in there because he doesn't know who Peter Parker is? So technically, he wouldn't be brought back to his universe. Like they're creating so many weird things here. They
I, it just doesn't make sense. Like I'm glad you can meet me here. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did they meet? Where did they end?
and here's the other thing. I'm actually kind of concerned because we bring up the Spider-Man thing. Jared Leto keeps hinting that he's gonna fight Tom Holland down the road.
Okay, why would he go after Spider-Man? Like I can understand Blade, but just Morbius is not a villain. Nothing in here, nothing in this movie has villain tendencies. Yes, he killed those people on the ship, but that wasn't him in control. It's like a rated R Hawk, okay? When Bruce Banner is not in control. If a rated R Hawk movie happened, he'd probably kill people too. But he'd be regretted about it. He's not a villain. He didn't display any non-remorse to the people he killed, even though they're not exactly good people. Those people he killed were not good people. They were mercs, right? But still, because he saw the bigger picture. He's not a bad guy. He's not a villain.
You know, Tom Hardy's Venom and Eddie Brock has more motivations to fight Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because the symbiote does not trust Peter Parker or Spider-Man. So like I could see them doing like a Spider-Man versus Venom situation that's that would be similar to BVS where like there's a misunderstanding between the two, but and they duke it out at first, but then like maybe not friends, but they become allies down the road. But like, what kind of beef would Morbius have with Spider-Man?
I know exactly. What kind of beef? Why? Why?
Like, it would make more sense for the Vulture to recruit Venom and say, "Hey, I know Spider-Man." He's like, "You know the bug," and it's like that
Yeah,
would make more
Morbius.
sense.
I know Morbius. Like, there's a times in the comics he's portrayed as a villain, but it's been a hero. He's been a hero mostly. He's not a like. He's not a villain. Like, and the thing about this character is he didn't have an accent, right? Like, I know Morbius has an accent, but he didn't have an
Yeah.
accent.
Well, I
Oh
remember
well.
in the '90s cartoon he had the accent.
Oh yeah, and his the way. Oh yeah, and instead of blood, he had to get plasma.
Yeah, because the '90s cartoon was so like playing it safe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because they had Punisher in there too, man.
Yeah, but it's like I, I'm I'm so confused, and it's like I swear, if Craven's post credit scene either transports Craven into the MCU because of the spell as a side effect, or Quentin Beck comes into the Sonyverse and he's like I faked my death, so is there a Spider-Man here? Then it's like Sony's lost their minds
Oh yeah.
because now you're like, I mean, what's next? Are you gonna bring back Topher Grace's Venom and Dan DeHaan's Green Goblin to form the Sinister Six since they're two villains that were not cured or were in No Way Home?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like like this is our multiverse Sinister Six being formed right here.
It's like Morbius is like okay. Vulture I can understand being a Sinister Six, but not Morbius. Like I can't see him in a Sinister Six because he's not a sinister person. Like he's not a sinister villain.
It's
Like he's
just
not. I mean, he's a vampire, but yeah, but the Morbius himself is not sinister. Like it's- he does need human blood to survive, but like he doesn't. You think he wants to be like this? He knows he saw what his friend is capable of. It's like oh
no, and here's the thing. This was supposed to come out before Venom and No Way Home, before No Way Home became a multiverse movie.
I think that's why I think those the Keaton things. I think one of the Keaton scenes was probably a reshoot because of the Doctor Strange thing.
It's so confusing. Like, what were their original plans for Keaton?
I know. Because you know how I think with the one who gets transported to the prison. I think that was a reshoot or a new scene because of the Doctor Strange spell at the end.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I do believe that. I think the second one was originally planned,
probably. Yeah, more
but it's
likely.
just like Sony really cashed in what No Way Home set up.
They don't pay. They and no like those Spider-Man. They're Sony, but they don't really pay attention. Like they really don't pay attention to what MCU is doing. Like
It's like, and here's the thing: I didn't even see Amy Pascal's names in the credits.
I don't remember because you know what happened. The credits went by so fast for this movie. I'm seriously. I'm like they were like the fastest credits.
Like this was all Avia Red, I'm pretty sure, because Avia Red is like the one that makes these poor decisions. Amy Pascal's the one that I think is trying to make amends and has a good relationship with Feige.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I say? Hey, Blind Bill, if you could come on, I sent you a link. You know what I say? I don't care if it's Sony's or Sony moves. Get Kevin Feige on the phone. Ask Disney if they can ask for his help because they kind of need it.
Oh my. Could you imagine if like because obviously the spell No Way Home everyone forget who Peter Parker was. Not only they did that, but they sent Peter Parker into the Sonyverse at the end of No Way Home to start a new life.
Yeah,
Like, could
yeah,
you imagine like the reaction to that?
yeah. Like, oh my god, and you know what? This movie did have a bad cast. Look, what's the actor's name? Jared. The Jared. Shit, not Jared Leto. The other Jared. The
That
the the, the doctor. The guy who took care of them. I forget the actor's
Oh
name.
man, I forget, but he was good in the movie.
But you know what? I felt like they could have used him more too, man. Like the
Yo,
guys,
here's the
they
thing.
underutilized the great actors in this movie.
Yo, like they had a really good cast and they did fine with their roles, but it was like they were misused.
Yes, yes,
Yo,
they
and here's the
were.
thing, Matt Smith, like the first half, I really liked his character, but then once he got the vampire powers, he became so over the top. What could have been
He was over top.
what could have been a compelling
You
villain?
know who he was? He was a Joker vampire. All he cared about was causing chaos. Like
Yo,
that's
here's the
it.
thing, what could have been a compelling character turned into a Saturday morning cartoon villain?
And the way the way he died with the bats and all that. Like what the fuck? Can't Matt Smith do the exact same thing with the bats? Control the bats if he's also a vampire?
Yo, I'm like these. Ah.
And why was he able to control his vampire so much easier than Jared Leto, than Michael Morbius? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and then like the end when when you
Yeah.
think the girlfriend dies, but she's actually brought back to life, and it looks like she's gonna be a vampire. It's like,
Oh, she's gonna be the bride. I think in the comics he does have a bride, doesn't he, Morbius?
yo, it's
I'm
like, what the hell? It just happened so suddenly. It's like they rushed the ending for this film.
And you know what's bad about that? Remember when Morbius hijacked that gang's lab, right? Wherever they were, right? So she goes over there, right? She goes over there, right?
Yeah,
After at the Horizons lab, you know, Lucian Milo runs into her. He leaves. He goes back to she goes back to Morbius lab. He tells her that it's too dangerous to go. And all of a sudden, she's captured, and we'll see her get captured. Like, how did she get
yeah.
captured?
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Yo, here's the thing. The opening reminded me of a opening of a Sam Raimi film. I was like, are they invoking Raimi at the beginning of this with like the opening?
It is. That's the typical Sony with the Sony Spider-Man stuff. It's very mid 2000s like.
Yo, I'm like, oh my. They were basically trying to like remind people that this is a Sony Marvel film. This is in our Sony Spider-Verse somewhere.
Oh, it's and when they tried to do the humor, there wasn't a lot of humor. When they tried to do the funny stuff, it didn't work. You know?
They tried invoking what
Yeah.
made people enjoy Venom, but it just here's the thing, Jared Leto does not have the entertainment factor that Tom Hardy does.
No.
Like with Tom Hardy and like his chemistry with Venom, like the Eddie Brock Venom chemistry and like them like eating people like having that debate, it was funny. It worked.
Yeah, I Degrassi. Yeah, I believe I know Degrassi. Like, well, get him out of here. Let's get somebody. Get Kevin Feige in. Something really can. He's a Disney. Get somebody like to fix this stuff up, man. Because like Matt Reeves, like look, Batman's having their own universe. I would love to see Spider-Man have their own universe if it goes well, if it works. I don't have a problem with an MCU Spider-Man. It's in a Spider Verse, a live action Spider-Man verse.
Here's the
Like
thing. I would love to have a live action Spider-Man verse, but it's like unless Madam Web course corrects this whole thing and like actually gives explanations as to why characters are just going into random universes all
I
of a
know,
sudden.
it's like
It's like at this point, I'm looking forward to Madam Web because I need the answers to this. And if they don't address it in Madam Web, then they as Tony Stark said, they screwed the pooch.
yeah, yeah. It's like I don't like this is. I understand there's people like this movie, like Isaac. He likes this movie. Okay, that's fun. Like and but this movie did not make sense. And there's some people that like movies that don't make sense. Like
Well, here's the thing. I believe Isaac generally does enjoy this movie, but then
yeah,
you got those people online that are basically trying to compare this to like a certain other comic book movie that recently came out, and it's like this is not the movie to do that with. Wait until Doctor Strange 2 comes out.
yeah, Doctor Strange too. Like I know a lot of people like now when like we're gonna get back to Morbius, but Doctor Strange comes out now today. That's gonna be a one time of what two two 2 hours and like 6 or 8 minutes, and people are bitching about it. I'm like, guys, who cares? It's still 2 hours.
I'm
We're
my only concern is because of the amount of characters, but it's like if you know Sam Raimi by now, he likes to have these runtimes.
yeah. The final. Okay. Yeah, and oh my god, don't last stand, don't no.
No, 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 no. I
And
will
like
say this.
RJ was pissed off last night. Did you watch the stream? RJ was like going off on the movie.
I didn't see RJ go off on it, but like seeing his reaction on Twitter, like what he was tweeting about the film, I was like, yo, RJ
Yeah.
like hates this film probably.
Okay, that's up to that. Yeah, it's fine. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it, man. We
Yeah, it's fun.
didn't.
Look, like I
We're-
said, I've enjoyed comic book movies that most people didn't enjoy, like BVS, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I even enjoy Spider-Man 3 and The Dark Knight Rises, but yet this film just did not do it for me.
Hey, I enjoyed the first Fantastic Four movie.
Yo,
Like
I
the
like the
first one,
cast in
2000.
that film.
I enjoyed the first one. Like like we're at 2004, 2005. I like that movie.
Yo,
I hope Borderlands. I hope the Borderlands movie is good. You know,
I don't even mind Fantastic Four 2005. Like, I thought the cast was good in that film. I liked the chemistry. I just thought it could have been executed better, but I don't even
the,
hate that film.
the only cast member that I felt was didn't fit was probably Jessica Alba. But I thought the other three actors they fit the characters perfectly.
Yeah.
like, I don't know the actor from. I know the actor for Mr. Fantastic Four, but I can't. I won't. I'm gonna butcher his name. But I felt like he played a good Reed Richards. Jessica Alba, like he was. She wasn't a bad Sue Storm, but she wasn't like to me. She didn't feel like Sue Storm. But I felt Chris Evans. He felt like Human Torch, and Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm. It was fine
Yeah.
to me.
Or the guy that looks like my Uncle Larry. That's what Michael
And look,
Chiklis looks like.
look, Doctor Doom. The way Doctor Doom, like he was a different Doctor Doom. He's still from Latveria, but the story was different. I still think Julie McMahon still played a very good Doctor Doom in that movie.
Agree, agree. I thought he was fine as Doom. He wasn't great, but
Yeah,
like he was fine.
yeah.
But yeah, like this film just like
So
oh
you're right. We're not going to comment on that. I like Zod Rider. I'm not going to comment on that. He has the right to what he has to say, and as we do, I'm not going to attack. I know he's getting a lot of heat. And I could. There's possibly some bias there, but you know what? I'm not going to say anything on that.
yeah yeah. I have nothing against Zod Rider. He's entitled to his opinion. Do I disagree with it strongly? Yes, but that's what he thinks.
Just Sam Raimi's movies are great, man. There's so many good movies that are not like his style movie. There's some movies that he's directed that are not like the typical Sam Raimi movies out there. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you look at filmography, he has some movies that you wouldn't think were directed by him.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Raimi, I think, does pretty good with runtimes, so that's why I'm not too concerned. It's just like with the number of rumored characters that are going to be in this film, I just wonder like, is this going to be a quick paced film? Because it's
The
going to need to
Baseball,
be.
yeah, this is a good movie for I Love the Game of Kevin Costner. That's a good movie. Yeah, yeah. Like because when people talk about Sam Raimi, all they talk about is the Evil Dead series, the Spider-Man, and then this. But he has a lot of hidden gems that nobody talks about.
Yo, I like the Simple Plan a lot.
Yeah, like look at this. I'm gonna pull up his filmography right now. Bunch of good movies he has.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I
Hey,
know a lot of people don't like Oz the Great and Powerful. I actually enjoy that film.
it wasn't bad. Yeah, with the canceled James Franco.
Yeah, cancel James Franco, but
Look,
like
look,
honestly, compared to some of Disney's other live action
Darkman,
remakes,
Darkman. He did the Gift, Love of the Game. Oz the Great Powerful. Drag Me to Hell is a very underrated horror movie.
it was alright. It's not like
Yeah,
my favorite of his, but it was fine.
yeah. Oh, it's pure cinema. The greatest Hollywood movie of all time.
Yeah, screw the Dark Knight, screw Spider-Man 2, screw Logan.
Uh, I don't know. It's not. I thought it would be at least 2 hour and a half movie. It's like a typical MCU movie, but it's still over 2 hours. So it's about 20 minutes more in this movie because this movie was actually 1 hour and 45 minutes. It's 15 minutes longer than Venom too. As long as no, here's about the movie. As long as the pace doesn't feel long, it's fine. Oh, and I saw, and that's when the one of the trailers I saw in the theater yesterday was Doctor Strange, the second trailer with yeah, I saw it, and I was watching on the big screen, and I noticed, when Patrick Stewart, not Patrick Stewart, Doctor Strange gets led up to the Illuminati. So the 7 or 8 chairs, right? They
Yeah.
sit, the council, wherever the council is. There's one guy walking in the back. It seems like he has a sword on his back. I'm like wondering who could that be.
Yo, I'm like wondering that as well. I noticed it actually for the first time because that was like the third and last trailer before Morbius.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not. You can say what you
Yo,
want.
guys, let's not comment on other YouTubers. But oh yeah,
But
but
yeah, but Batman's way better in this movie. Like,
yeah. Well, if you want to talk about some of the bad opinions, just look at Gerald and Mercury on Twitter. But that's a different story for another time.
oh, there's been some not so good stuff, but dig up about Gerald today. Apparently, he might be a transphobe and a homophobe or something like
Yeah,
that.
I saw something like that. And I don't know. There's rumors that apparently Mercury in secret likes the Batman a lot, but he can't say that because he's gonna lose his crowd.
Oh,
Yo, even Gerald gave the Batman a positive review.
uh, no, Mercury's a pure Mercury. Like, I'm gonna say it on here. I don't care. Like, if anybody calls me out, Mercury is a pure trash son of a bitch human being.
Yo, he tried going after Jeffrey Wright, and Jeffrey Wright owned him.
He's like he owed himself for those 9/11 tweets.
Yo, and then like Jeffrey Wright calls him out for like basically saying he can no longer be mentioned or something like that.
Oh yeah, Mercury. Yeah, I don't know. Mercury is like I know Gerald for a fact is like an 18, 19-year-old. I know like he's the very, but I heard Mercury might be like in his late 20s or late 30s.
Yo, I heard he's in his mid-30s. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah, that he's older.
Like here's the thing with
Uh,
Gerald. Like at least Gerald like admits like, hey, he enjoys Marvel stuff as well, and he's more into the Snyder stuff. But like at least like he was kind of open about giving the Batman 8 out of 10. Like he's not a pure hater in my opinion. He's just immature. Mercury's the one that's like, what is this guy doing?
no, Mercury is a thousand times more toxic than Gerald.
Yeah, because like at least like Gerald basically admits that like, yeah, I do like Marvel. I'm more into the Snyder stuff with DC though.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like,
and and if he's that young, then it's like, okay, like that doesn't defend you because 19 and 20 you should know better, but whatever.
you know what? I know 18 is technically like adult, but maturity doesn't really like start at 18. Let's be honest,
No, it does
it doesn't
not.
kick in.
Listen, I was
Okay,
immature.
me too, Snyder. Like, I'm a fan of comic book movies in general, whether it's Marvel or DC, or you know what, independent comic book movies.
Yeah, like I was immature in my college years. Like by the time I graduated like college was when I finally started maturing.
Yeah, and some people mature at a different age. There's still people out there that mature like mature doesn't kick like usually people get older they start maturing more, but sometimes people don't mature until like much later, and some people don't mature at all.
Well, Mercury has never matured.
No, no. Oh, I guess Blind Bear won't come on. See, me too. That's fine. Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with that, man. You like Marvel, DC, Independence, whatever, Star Trek, Star Wars, wherever you're into. It this like Give me all, man. I mean, if there's a Spawn movie tomorrow, I'll be in the theater watching a Spawn movie. Like,
But yeah, no, I just hate that this movie has all of a sudden gone into a Snyderverse debate. It's gotten into a debate about bullying movies. Like, what the heck?
bullying movies.
Here's the thing with Grace Randolph that I'm just gonna
Yes, I
throw out
guess you're
there.
right. It's emotional integrity, that maturity that I think it's kind of both they lack actually.
Yeah. But no, like with Grace Randolph, like she dies on these hills when it comes to her opinion. Like when the Suicide Squad, when she hated it, but most of the critics loved it, and it only got a cinema score of B plus, which is pretty good, but not like amazing. She was like doing victory laps.
The Morbius cinema score is like C something.
And she's trying to defend it.
And she liked the movie. Like, okay, you know what? She has a right. Yeah, you know what? Because people are calling her out for liking the movie, and you know what? Bullying a movie to fail. We're not bullying. Nobody was bullying the movie to fail, though. But from what we heard before the movie came out, it was not very good. It wasn't being well received. The issue was going around. Nobody was bullying it to fail. Like people are like, "Oh man, this is gonna be a disaster. This is gonna be shit. What's this gonna do?" That's not exactly when I'm saying that. That's not exactly bullying it. Bullying is like, "Oh, this movie, this. I hope this movie fails. I hope it doesn't make any money." Stuff like that, you know. Take care, Snyder. See what my words are different, you know. Like
Yo,
you're
it's
not
like
bullying. You can't bully a movie.
she should have just said, don't bully people who personally enjoy this
Exactly.
movie.
That's yes, people. Exactly, George. You hit it right there. People, if they like the movie, don't bully people for liking the movie.
Yo, like she got offended when like Wonder Woman 1984 finally went down to 59% Rotten Tomatoes. She was like, I think Patty Jenkins made a very good movie. I like this, I like that. I was like, 59 ain't even that terrible.
No, yeah, yeah.
That's still higher than Man of Steel and BVS, even though it's worse than those movies.
Oh my god, like it's it's just people out there saying if somebody just likes a movie, let them like it. Whether it's a bad movie or a good movie. And if you hate it, if you there's people out there that don't like Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give them hell for not liking it. Like and it's just it's a free country. People are allowed to like what they want. And you're not this uh yeah, but this Morbius as Mobius is Mopebious as I for my thumbnail.
Oh
Mobius.
my goodness.
Because the thing is, you know what? It depends on the writing because each movie has different writers though for the MCU. They're not all the
Yeah,
same.
like some of the jokes will hold up better than others.
Oh, if you want to compare jokes from MCU movies to the Morbius, none of the jokes in Morbius land when they try to.
Like, no, like, oh my, for goodness sakes, I thought the humor in Justice League was better than in this film,
It was,
and that was a trash fire too.
it was. This tone is very serious to like the Venom and stuff. Like Venom's jokes kind of the Venom both of them kind of maybe chuckle and maybe laugh. But like Venom like in Let There Be Carnage when he was in when he was on stage, right? When he was on stage
Yeah,
cutting all that stuff. That made me laugh.
yeah,
Nothing
that
in
was
here
like
made me laugh.
that was pure like hilarious. Like, oh my goodness, like I rather watch Justice League than this again because like at least Justice League is so bad, but it's so funny. Like when Batman's like, "Yep, something's definitely bleeding." I'm like, this version of Batman would never quit, but yet it's so bad it's funny.
Yeah, some people bleed. Of course, some would be bleeding. Like, yeah, in the Justice League, they made Batman too much. They watered him down too much in that movie. They made him a joke.
Yeah, but like it's so bad, like I can't help but just laugh at how bad
Yeah.
it is. Like there was something about that in Morbius.
And look, like Jared Leto's a good actor, but I don't think he could do humor.
Yeah, honestly, the villain was more entertaining than Jared
Yes,
Leto. Like,
Matt Smith's a better actor. I'm saying there's a better actor than Jared Leto.
Yo, he was like funny. Like and like some of his scenes were so bad they were funny. Like when he's
Yeah.
like dancing around putting on like dress clothes, I was like, this is so bad, but it's so funny.
But how the fuck did he become a billionaire? Like, what did he do to become rich?
Yo, he seemed even sicker than Michael was.
Oh yeah, I think he was closer to dying, right? Like,
Yeah, like here's the thing, like Michael couldn't walk properly, but yeah, he looked healthy for the most part.
yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know how the guy became a billionaire though. Like, what did he
Like the
do?
friend like looked very sickly.
Oh yeah, I think he was. I think he probably had it worse, right? Like the blood
Yeah.
disease, the lack of blood, because that's what it was. The disease was a lack of blood or something like that.
Yeah, like Michael, like it was only just like he couldn't walk, but like everything else about him looked fine.
Yeah, yeah. Like Matt Smith, like he's like Matt Smith's character. He wanted to drink the blood to survive. He saw this could be survival. He thought it was a key, he heard it as a gift, and all of a sudden he decided to become a bad guy and do whatever he wants. Like, right? Like do what he
Yeah,
wants.
yeah,
Like,
it's like. Uh, and by the way, if there is a Spider-Man,
I'm sorry, but like if he hires mercs with guns or it has like a bodyguard, I mean, you know, I know Morbius is friends with him, but I would be suspicious. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'd be very suspicious.
here's another thing. So apparently, like the director said, there is a Spider-Man in this universe. So wouldn't Spider-Man be wondering why there's two vampires in New York City?
It is New York, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
like,
it is New York
like
City.
if this was like in let's say Newark or some other like nearby city and like Michael Morbius was going to New York City to relocate, it would have worked out so much better, but it's
They don't know what Spider. They don't. They,
like what happened? Did Spider-Man go into the MCU because this is supposedly taking place during No Way Home?
I I think they're waiting. I think they're making all these movies not based on on the Spider-Man until they find their Spider-Man.
Because like if this is Andrew Garfield's universe, okay, maybe you can say okay,
Yeah,
the
show him in. Yeah.
vampires are doing this while
You know,
Garfield's in the MCU.
I have no problem if they put a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in this universe because some of the villains are like in their 40s already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Um, I personally think most villains in comics don't need their own movie.
They gotta
Um,
have a strong enough personality.
except Blade's in the MCU, right? And I don't think they're gonna do that. Cost. I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't. I'm sorry, people, but I don't think Blade and Morbius are gonna be shown together in the movies.
Yeah, they should have done that. They should have done a Spider-Man Blade film with Morbius as the villain. Like that's the thing that they're kind of wasting with this
Okay,
Sonyverse
okay,
thing.
Degrassi. I have a hard take here. People, if people probably gonna disagree with me, what if it's not Peter Parker but a different Spider-Man, like Ben Riley
Or Miles
or
Morales.
Miles Morales? Yeah, I'm like
Or Spider-Gwen. It could be
or
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. Like, well, but not that. Like, that's had to be Peter Parker.
Like here's
Dark
the thing.
Acula. Yeah.
I'm of the mindset that Sydney Sweeney actress that's gonna be in Madam Web is gonna play Spider Gwen. Like I
Spider Gwen or Silver Sable. She's not gonna play Felicia Hardy.
they're saving Felicia for the college trilogy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Felicia Hardy is like a college sweetheart in the movie in that trilogy. That
Like you need to have her with Spider Man on the big screen. It's long
yeah
overdue.
yeah. What you do with her? Let's just change things a little bit with Felicia Hardy. But if you have Felicia Hardy in the next trilogy with Tom Holland, have her be a college sweetheart, but also have her be like there's a dark side of her where she's actually Black Cat and she has to steal stuff for I don't know her father's the original Black Cat. There's a reason why she does what she does.
Yo, tie her into the Kingpin like the animated series
Or yeah,
in the
stuff like
comics.
that. Yeah, stuff like that. Or
Or
yeah.
or one of the crime bosses. Use Tombstone or Hammerhead. PS4. Use PS4 like that whole thing with Hammerhead.
Oh, that's Hammerhead. Yeah, yeah, Hammerhead. Exactly. You could do something like that.
A Tom Holland. So
You
Jacob
think?
says like it could be a Tom Holland Spider-Man variant. Yeah, it's causing more confusion because now there's two versions of Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'll talk about Spider-Man could be like 20, 30 year olds villains older than him. So really, Degrassi, Michael Keaton's really pissed about this. Where can I find that? Is it really on the internet? He's really pissed about the movie.
I didn't hear about that either. Like it's so funny that this is all happening the week that the Flash film's getting good press so far from test screenings.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. Oh, well, he's in the MCU, so it's possible. So yeah,
Yeah, like, you gotta have Kingpin in at least one of these upcoming Spider-Man movies.
what Spider-Man does do a team up with Daredevil. I mean, it kind of did cross over, right? Like a little bit, like a couple minutes. Why
Yo,
not? Why
they
not?
yeah.
People are gonna bitch. They're gonna have to tone down the Daredevil because Spider-Man. Who cares? It could work.
Yo, Spider-Man almost decapitated a goblin.
Yeah,
Like they can do dark.
yeah.
Like sweet innocent Peter Parker in the MCU almost killed a dude.
If you want to bring in a Defenders, if you want to bring in like yeah, this would be interesting. This would be interesting because they definitely would. This would be a movie about morals and ethics, and with Spider-Man, Spider-Man, right? Peter
Yeah.
completely does not agree with Frank's way of dealing with criminals.
Yo, like hip like what'd be pretty interesting is like he goes like because usually they have the Punisher go after Spider-Man. Spider-Man goes after the Punisher.
Yeah, I would love to see a Spider-Man Deadpool team up, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yo, I mean the next they'll probably have scenes together in the next big Marvel event film where everyone teams up.
Yeah, I don't even know when that is, man. Like, when is the next big team up?
Yo, like I know like people were saying, oh, the earliest could be 2025. Maybe they'll do Secret Wars, and I'm like, they haven't even confirmed that.
Man, they're just doing Secret Invasion. I mean, Secret Invasion, like, you could, you could, it could possibly lead to Secret Wars. If the rumor is true about Emilia Clarke's character, if she is the Skull Queen, but there's another rumor she may be up. Brandon, the Skull Queen is actually a very big character in Marvel, so like she could play a big time role in an Avenger style kind of movie, which like Secret Wars. They want to
Yeah,
go down. And I know she has a connection to Jessica Drew, Spider Woman, but Spider Woman is more likely to be in the Sonyverse. Even though I think Spider Woman could actually fit in the MCU. But you know what? Sony's just making these Spider-Man related movies just to keep the rights. Otherwise, they would lose them. And you know what? Maybe they should lose them.
yo, but here's the thing: at this point, with like them bringing Toby and Andrew back, like they can just like make continue like those stories with at least one film to keep
See,
the rights.
if she is MCU, she definitely has a connection to right to the Skull Queen, even Hydra, right? Like if they want to bring back Hydra, like Hydra has been relevant in MCU, but Hydra's been actually kind of more relegated to Agents of Shield. But yeah, like Hydra's still not really dead, if you know what I mean. Like they're always it's hiding a secret.
Oh my god, it's just like I'm so confused what the point of this movie was.
Yeah, it was confusing. Like, what are they trying to say? Like after credit scene, I know. Yeah, Olivia Wilde's done a Spider Woman project, but has there anything been an update on this? Like, what the hell? Like, I know she's been like she's doing it. Hasn't that been reported like 3 or 4 years ago? She's doing this. Like, what's going on with this movie?
Yo, this movie's gonna be like the Flash of like the Sony verse. You're gonna hear about this movie for like so many years.
Yeah, thank you, Blan. But I know. Yeah, I remember you said it. Do you think? What was I gonna say? Oh, Like, I know people have been fan casting Daisy Ridley as Spider Woman.
Oh man,
Just
that's gonna trigger a lot of fandom menacers.
Jessica Drew. Because Jessica Drew is British, isn't she? Is Jessica Drew British?
I, I'm gonna look that up right now. But yeah, it's like they're confusing me with the strategy. It's like,
I don't know what the strategy. No, she's in. Okay. But I know people have been fan casting Daisy Ridley for her. I don't think like the one actress I do think could play a good Silk is actually Jessica Henwick, who is Colleen Ring. I think she could play Silk though. In this, but I think that's an Amazon series, right? Doing a Silk show.
oh yeah, yeah, I think they were gonna put it on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, but Amazon doesn't like exactly have their own studios, right? They don't have a studio.
Yeah, they don't really have anything.
They do stuff with other studios. Like so, it could be like a Sony thing that Sony's decided to put the series on Amazon.
Yo, but it's like DC, I think, has more direction at this point. Like, if you hear the rumors of that the Flash film might be setting up like a Final Crisis or something, like that sounds like they actually finally found a direction.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Eddie, just read a tweet by Eddie. Eddie said he fell asleep during Morbius, and they woke him up.
Oh my
What?
gosh, I can see him doing.
Okay, thank you, Blind Bro. Yeah, yeah.
Yo, well, didn't Max say he fell asleep during Venom Let There Be Carnage? Honestly, I was actually debating about falling asleep during Morbius at one point.
So what he said here, he was for 30 minutes. He was watching for 30 minutes, and then I was like, wait.
Oh, I see the tweet. He has it pinned.
Oh my god.
Yo. Oh my. Oh my god.
Okay, Jessica Drew. Yeah, okay. So guys, I want to know to cast you, Blind Bro. If they do cast Jessica Drew, do you think Daisy really is a good fit for her? Or I know she's best friends with Captain Marvel, but yeah, like
Yo, I've been like I gotta share this tweet with my friends with some of my friends outside of YouTube because I've been like trashing Morbius like in my group chat with my friends on Facebook. I'm like, yo, I gotta show this to them.
oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah. I can see him doing that. Oh my goodness. Yo, it reminds me of like when I was a little kid and I saw the Hey Arnold movie and my dad fell asleep and like I had to wake him up by running around the theater.
You know why? Of course, you know why? It's not for your dad. That's why. So I don't blame your dad for falling asleep during the movie. It's not for him, right? But like, this is
Yeah, it wasn't
different.
for him. But
Yeah.
usually like he liked those Nickelodeon movies that would come out in
Oh.
theaters. So it was a surprise that it was the Hey Arnold movie that he fell asleep during.
Oh, you should watch it, Blind Bro. Let's see how much of a train wreck it is. Come on, you're a comic book fan. It's like your duty to watch it. It's in your blood, Blind Bro. You know it's in your blood.
Oh my
He already knows about we pretty much spoiled we spoiled it last night on Max's stream. We're like we didn't give a damn, so we just spoiled it last night. um, let's talk about. Let's talk Morbius, but I didn't have anybody. Blind Bro. I didn't have any. So I didn't have anybody on Thursday. I talked Moon Knight. Did you see Moon Knight?
Yeah, I did see it. I didn't get to pay attention to it as much as I would have liked to because I just got home from work while watching it, but I did see it.
Thoughts?
I like it so far. It's definitely unique and interesting.
Hey, Degrassi, give me a list of names. I want to know some names. I want to know names. Give me names.
Yo, Grace Randolph is 99% sure Tom Cruise is going to be in the MCU.
Well, I can tell you on the trailer from last night. I can tell you one thing, that scene, with the debate between Captain Marvel and Tom Cruise. I can tell you from seeing the trailer last night on the big screen, it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Apocalypse was shit, and so was Phoenix.
Oh my god. I didn't even see Dark Phoenix.
I didn't see it in a big movie theater. I saw it on the TV, like on HBO or whatever.
Yo,
Cause
I shared Eddie's tweet with like my friends, and like my one friend's like LOL.
I need to know this list of A-list actors. I heard rumors that Anne Hathaway talked to MCU, but that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, wasn't she gonna be like the Raimi like Felicia Hardy like before Spider-Man 4 got canceled?
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe.
Yo, like apparently she was gonna play like Vulture's daughter Felicia.
And they're gonna make her Black Cat.
Yo, like there's been a lot of rumors that she was gonna either be Vultress or Black Cat.
Ugh.
Like John Malkovich was gonna be Vulture.
They should have had John Malkovich. Would have been the perfect Vulture.
No, he would have been a great Vulture in my opinion.
Oh, oh my god! If you get John Malkovich as a villain in like I want John Malkovich to play a sadistic villain in Batman series. I mean, like really sadistic. I
Yeah,
think
that'd be
he
pretty
play
cool. To see.
he play a very dangerous Victor Zsasz. Oh my fucking god! John Malkovich is Zsasz related to the comic book character. You know when he marks himself for each kill. Can
Oh
you imagine
yeah.
like?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
oh,
I will say about Moon Knight when like the shoe scene at the beginning was very painful.
Gabriel, if he is, yeah, I want to see eat that sock on stream.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like the shoe putting on scene at the beginning of Moon Knight very made me very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, yeah, Malkovich. Yeah, I think Zaz would be perfect for him. If because look at Zaz, the way they did Zaz, and they did Zaz in Batman Begins. He was just like a hitman, basically, right?
Yeah.
Same in the Gotham series. He's basically a hitman. I mean, he had more of a character, but he was basically a hitman. But wasn't think anything like what he is from the comics and stuff. Where he's a sadistic killer that sees life as meaningless, and every time he kills somebody, like scars a mark on him for each kill. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what actor is not going to get work from the MCU? Ezra Miller.
oh, we talked about Ezra Miller yesterday. And
Oh my. Yeah.
it's a
Or Will Smith, like seriously, like this week has just been chaotic for news.
yeah. I don't know. Like that's a good choice because I do have a folder in my desktop of potential actors that could play future characters in Matt Reeves' universe, and I think John Malkovich as Zaz is perfect. Tom Cruise. They should definitely think about him for if they do a Green Lantern movie. I know they're not doing because they're doing the series, but if they're doing a Green Lantern movie, I think Tom Cruise as Hal.
Yeah.
I mean, as Hal Jordan. I know as Top Gun. They're both they're jet pilots, but yeah.
That was one of the trailers I got today. Top Gun.
Oh, I got three trailers. I got Jurassic Park Old Dominion. It looks really good. Which one is it? The one with Air? Is it the David Ayer one or the other one? Bright, I think it's David Ayer's, right?
That's
Is that what it's called? Bright? They pulled that one? I know a lot of people didn't like that movie. I actually like that movie.
I never saw it.
It's
Let's
Bright. Is that the name, right?
apparently Netflix has backed away from developing Fast and Loose.
Yes. They're stepping away from they're stepping away from oh, it's a new film. Okay.
Oh my.
I thought this was moved to next year, but it's apparently coming out this year, right? Mission Impossible is moved.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Mission Impossible moved to next
we were
year.
talking about Moon Knight, right?
Yeah.
I guess everybody in this saw Moon. Blind Bill saw Moon. Oh yeah, I know he saw Moon Knight. I know Degrassi obviously saw Moon. I like this episode, beginning episode. It's not great. It's good. I'm on. Fuck. This came from Geekosity. Like you know that town where Stephen Grant wakes up. You know that town when
Yeah.
you get shot at. Like apparently in the background there's a castle, and the person
I
from
saw
Geekosity
that.
somebody said, "Oh, is that Doctor Doom's castle?" And I'm like, you know, Europe has a lot of castles, right?
Yeah, like
yeah.
Middle Ages, like oh my, like
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You go to town. Did anybody there have an accent that sound like Eastern European? Because I'm pretty sure in the comics, it's an Eastern European country.
yeah, it sounds like it's Eastern European.
Yeah, and there's none of those people in the village had an Eastern accent, European accent. And I'm pretty sure I don't know what country that was in. I didn't say what country it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not that very. And if that was that, why would Doctor Doom let Arthur Harrow do this shit there? I'm sorry. Doctor Doom wanted that to happen. You know, if he was, he wanted that to happen.
Yeah, it's just like this. Like he's gonna turn this into the next Mephisto.
Yeah.
It's like okay, Doctor Strange too. If there's a castle, that's
no Mephisto, Doctor Strange too. Okay, let's go Doctor Doom.
Or it's like Black Panther Wakanda Forever. A castle? Is that Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
Like that's what it's gonna turn into.
I didn't guess.
Because people are impatient for like this stuff to happen.
We aren't gonna get a Doctor Doom. Look, we're getting Fantastic Four. We're gonna get a Doctor Doom. We're eventually gonna get a Doctor Doom. It's like I guarantee you it's in their plans. Degrassi knows more than me, but Doctor Doom is in their plans. Like, and I bet you Mephisto is in their plans too. But that castle is not like if anybody knows the European history, like. So my question is, Stephen Grant is not what he is in the comics. He's not a billionaire or anything like that. Obviously, right? So who is he born as? Was he born as Mark Spector in the series? Or was he born as Stephen? I have the belief that he is Mark Spector. He was born as Mark Spector. I'm going by this episode. He's born as Mark Spector. And whatever happened to him caused him multiple personality disorder or stuff like that. And he developed a Stephen Grant persona. Or I don't know. I don't know if he was born with it in this show. I don't know if he would be born with it or something to happen to him as Mark Spector caused him to develop those personalities, that the mental illness.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Because like yeah. Oh, I want to bring this up. So there's pretty a clip going on YouTube about Neurotic.
Oh my god!
Talking about a woman in a Moon Knight. You know, that one clip. You saw the first episode with that old woman, right? You know, he looked like that person was I forget the god's name. Hey, Blind Braille. Is that Russell Peters?
No, hold on, give me a second.
No, it's not Russell Peters. It looks like from here. Yeah, I'm glad you're on. I thought you weren't coming on. But yeah, like the Neurotic basically say, that old woman, right? Who then he saw Steven in the corner all afraid, but she's afraid of him too, right? So he had a clip of that. In the same clip, he had the little spot that came out a week ago before the series where that woman helped this woman helped him escape like Arthur Harrow when he was about to summon someone. Remember that? And basically all the women are taking charge of the Moon Knight are making Moon Knight a beta male because of those two clips. I'm like, did you watch this episode? Did you watch the first episode?
They need everything to be woke.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
okay, I'm back now.
Hey, Blind Bill, what's up? Oh,
what's
yeah,
up?
I know you didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, I didn't. I really don't want to watch it, to be honest.
Hey, Blind Bill, just watch it legally online.
Yeah, I might, but if I have the time, because now it's like getting like super busy with school, and I only got like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like Venom, the first Venom movie wasn't that good. I actually liked the second one, but I was not a fan of the first one.
I
Same.
could,
Yeah.
yeah, this I could tell. Yeah,
And now you're gonna see a bunch of people come out and say like they like it and how it's amazing and it's better than this movie just to like trigger a bunch of people. It's like, yeah, you might like it, but I mean like it's not like some masterpiece. You know what I mean?
no, no, it's not like this movie is far, far from a masterpiece. I can tell you that.
This
Yeah, just
actually made
watching the trailer, I would figure.
this actually made Venom look like a masterpiece.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just tell you, like the after. Did you watch? I mean, I know you don't care. So, did you watch the after credits scene, or you?
I didn't watch it. I just know what happens. Like I read
Okay,
on Marvel Studios subreddit.
it's like the first one when he gets zapped into the cell. That should have been in the movie because that would explain the second credit scene how they know each other.
Well, the second credit scene makes no sense.
Exactly.
It's I heard the way I'm not sure if because I haven't seen it, right? I heard that it seems like Vulture wasn't actually supposed to be in that scene. The way that it was shot, it almost feels like there was another character and then they replaced him. Could you guys like confirm that? Does it look janky or
It's Agent. Like the thing is I don't know. It seems like RJ said it best. It's Vulture, but it didn't seem like the exact Vulture for the MCU. This Vulture sounded more sadistic, like a more like angry type than like because Vulture in the MCU like he wasn't like he was more he would do what he thinks is right because he got
yeah?
screwed.
Yeah.
This Vulture didn't sound like that. Like
The only time Vulture really seemed crazy to me in Homecoming was like when like he was putting two and two together and realized Peter Parker was Spider-Man and he was like, good old Spider-Man.
Hmm.
yeah, it's it's really really bad movie. I mean like it's not. Look, I'll tell you this, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Like but it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I figured. Like the only reason is like I wouldn't watch it is because there are bad comic book movies I just don't need to watch. Like, yeah, I'm a fan, but do you read every single comic that comes out in a month? Probably not, right? It would be too expensive to read everything. So it's like you pick and choose what you want to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I just know it's like I don't know what the plan is. Like, the director says of Spider-Man. Like, what you can use Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's what Degrassi is saying. They might use Tom Holland. I had no idea what the plan is. So is the plan for Craven to eventually join the team because Vulture's joining the team? I'm like, why would Morbius want to team up with a villain? Morbius is not a villain in this fucking movie.
And,
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make sense.
And this version of Vulture is not like an evil mastermind. He's an opportunist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, first of all, if you're gonna take an MCU villain to make a Sinister Six, Quentin Beck should be the one that's doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they had to kill him off.
Well, here's the thing: Mysterio's known for faking his death. Just have it where he faked his death, and he arrives in this new universe, angry that he can no longer humiliate Spider-Man, and that he forgot who Spider-Man was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, yeah. So what's next? We're gonna have Craven when the Craven movie comes out, he's gonna be like a third member. And
No,
what's gonna happen? Well, go ahead.
Yo, watch. They're gonna have him like go into the MCU as a trade off with Vulture.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the
Because
MCU as Wanda's gonna be like Pietro.
Pietro, why are you hunting Spider-Man?
I don't even have faith in that movie.
And then
Strange?
No. Vulture or Craven, Jesus.
Craven. Oh, if it's based like this, yeah. Based off of this, yeah.
But I mean, like, what story does Craven have to
It
do a
seems like
solo film?
It seems like
It's very weird.
It seems like a family-oriented story, like because Chameleon, the stepbrother, Muscle Coach could probably play the father, and I know they cast his wife, didn't they?
But like, who is he gonna fight though? That's my The
Probably
thing
his brother, right? Or probably I think it's gonna be like a family affair. I think
he's gonna fight Chameleon. That would be really weird.
it's possible because I'm afraid I have a feeling Sony's gonna try to make Craven a good guy.
Oh boy.
Well, here's the thing. Chameleon, I feel like does not need to be in any Tom Holland Spider-Man film, so might as well waste him.
Yeah, might as well.
The problem is they use 6 villains, no 5 villains from the different universes in the MCU. Now they're using Craven, Venom, Vulture, Morbius, and then they're gonna use Chameleon also with Craven in this universe. Who's left for Tom Holland Spider-Man they can use?
Well, they can bring
Um,
Scorpion back.
Scorpion.
yeah, we talked about. I think Scorpion is gonna be the Venom of the MCU.
Okay. If you have to build up Scorpion because they haven't really built him up.
See,
No, they haven't.
Hobgoblin.
yeah, they can bring Hobgoblin in. Like,
It depends on how they do it. Do
Yeah.
not do the Ned Leeds thing. I know. So this is how you
No.
know people on Twitter do not read comics because Ned Leeds as the Hobgoblin
No.
was not what it was supposed to be. That was like a last minute thing, and it was terrible. So please do not do that. It was
Yeah,
awful.
like
It
that
was
was
either
terrible.
Roger Kingsley or Jason McIndoe.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah, like do one
No.
of those.
Do Kingsley. Kingsley was supposed to be originally
Yeah.
Hobgoblin. So
No, you don't like Ned Leeds. No, because his Peter's friend. Newsflash, they're not friends anymore. He doesn't even know who he is anymore.
yeah, but in the comics, it made no sense because he was like drugged apparently or something, and that's why he was the Hobgoblin. But it's like, what the hell? The why? It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
Like,
unless you use Ned as like one of the many people Roderick used to frame people to get like people off his tail, then it would not make sense.
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. Yeah.
So
Because
Scorpion
like
Hobgoblin.
didn't he frame Flash Thompson in the comics?
I'm
What?
not sure about that.
'Cause
Oh yeah, you just gave me a stupid idea. What was that Venom symbiote that Eddie Brock left? The Venom left goes on that Flash Thompson.
Oh my
no,
god.
no, 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 no.
No, what happens is a couple years later, that guy he ends up in the military and he's all buffed and stuff because Asian Venom.
Oh my god.
The thing is, it seems like a Sony idea.
Yes. It does.
I mean, didn't Sony want to make an Aunt May film?
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
they did.
Yo, and here's the thing: Marissa Tomei actually wants to come back as Aunt May. Have her star in Aunt May the film.
That sounds.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I'm seeing all the fan theories of what people about Ned being the Hobgoblin's like. What if the magic messed up his mind or something like that? It's like no.
No.
Here's
Please
the
no.
thing. If you do Hobgoblin, do not have him steal Green Goblin's tech. Just have him make the tech himself.
Yeah, like maybe he can see the
Yeah.
goblin on TV and he's like, I want to replicate that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
possible. Yeah. And maybe
Because the Hobgoblin was supposed to be like very smart, and every time Spider-Man tried to catch him, it was always like some decoy, right?
And-
So
Yeah.
I just have to say this. I didn't know like, in the anime series, Mark Hamill was the voice. And then I started listening to that one episode. I mean, I should have known, but I was very young, right? But I'm like, the one episode with the X-Men crossover, you know that scene where Spider-Man and Wolverine were fighting in the alleyway and Hobgoblins are? That's when I noticed, oh my god, this guy's the same voice as the Joker.
Yeah.
mm,
Like here's the thing, I feel like you got to do Hobgoblin in the college trilogy because like it would bring like it would give like Peter like PTSD with like the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
yeah,
And like
yeah,
you're
that
going
is-
with a more grounded approach. Like Hobgoblin's more crime oriented. He's not so much into the personal life of Peter Parker as Green Goblin.
no,
He'll,
yes,
he'll be willing to take jobs. You could hire him. Like Green Goblin is like Norman Osborn has more of a vendetta. He wants against Peter or Spider-Man, but he's willing to take over. He has more of an agenda. Where Hobgoblin is more of a person that's like willing to take jobs.
Mhm.
Like that's what he's been known for.
Yeah, like a Peter Parker that's like very much on edge with like this
Yeah.
Hobgoblin guy. But like Hobgoblin's like, I don't really care about him, but I'll kill him if I need to, like to get my job done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah. Blambo, when you get a chance, watch it online, Morbius, and see how bad it is.
Yeah,
like,
Oh my
like
goodness.
Eddie fell asleep apparently watching it.
yeah, I probably would fall asleep.
I
It
was
just
thinking
doesn't look
about it.
interesting to me at all.
It's not.
I was thinking about it.
Uh,
You should have just
Eddie,
fallen asleep.
Eddie
I
had
mean,
the right idea.
I know Jared Leto's a good Joker. I mean, a good actor, but I don't think he could. I don't think he does humor well.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I don't think he does humor well.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna trigger Snyder fans. I think Jared Leto was better as Morbius than Joker.
Oh well,
They might agree with that now.
Yeah, they might agree with it now.
he was. He was. Let's get back to Moon Knight. Blambro, I know you saw it. I want to get your thoughts on Moon Knight.
Yeah, I was saying on Twitter that, it's not a bad first episode, but
Point, Jack.
hold on, let me pause my game because I'm gonna be all over the
What
place.
game are you playing?
Kirby, of course.
Oh yeah, it's a good game. Good
Yes.
game.
Yeah, it was an okay episode. I give it a 7.5. It's not like the best Marvel MCU episode, but you could definitely see that they're changing a lot of stuff from the comics, and I'm a little bit worried. And some people's reviews, I know Grace Randolph gave it a bad review, but there's actually a lot of other people kind of slamming it too. Which if you don't read or if you didn't watch their videos for the spoilers, you wouldn't know. And that's the part where I'm really concerned. It seems like they just took every single popular Moon Knight comic from the last 15 years and try to jam it all in one season. And it's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm very concerned about Mark Spector because it seems like I don't want to go into obviously spoilers because that's
You
on
can
the
spoil
first
it.
episode.
You can
But
spoil
you want me to
already.
spoil? It seems like Mark Spector is a very is a bit of an asshole character.
He is.
Yeah, and there's just so much stuff. I really just I didn't want to go into spoilers about it because I am slightly disappointed with the last episode. I have to see it, obviously, but I'm very concerned of how they adapted this character because they kind of dropped the ball, in my opinion. Like this is not Moon Knight at all, especially Mr. Knight. Once people see Mr. Knight in the next episode and you've read the Ellis run of Moon Knight in 2014, you are going to be really pissed off, extremely pissed off. They in my opinion, they butchered Mr. Knight. Like there's no doubt about it. I understand why they did it. They wanted to streamline it, but this is not Mr. Knight. You should have never even introduced Mr. Knight in the first season. That was a persona that came much later, right? And I get it. It's not very clear in the comic what this persona is. He's supposed to be a very detective like. And so it seems like every single feature or personality, I'm not sure how to describe it, but attribute that is similar to Batman, they changed, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Mr. Knight is more the detective. We can't have Moon Knight be a detective, so we're going to change that. Stephen Grant is more of a, billionaire persona of Mark Spector, right? And he's also a movie producer. Not in this show, right?
No.
So they changed so much about it. And also the relation, obviously we haven't in the first episode seen Laura's relationship with Mark, but Laura is a character that dies fairly quickly in the comics, right? His relationship is more with, I'm pretty sure her name is Marlene. I always forget, the blonde woman he has a relationship with. But Laura in this season seems, it's very all over the place. I'm very curious to see the reaction. Maybe I might like it. I don't know. Again, I'm just reading the spoilers from it, and I'm like, wow, this seems, again, as someone who's a fan of the Moon Knight comic, I'm a little confused of how they came to this conclusion. Like, why are you doing Jeff Lemire's run in this season? That, again, it just doesn't make any sense. Just focus on Moon Knight and him building up this personality, the different personalities, right? Because he didn't have that originally. That was something that came a little bit later into his mythology. So, and I heard you mentioning how did he get this multiple personality disorder in the MCU, right? Because in the comics they kind of retcon it to be, oh, he's always had it as a kid, right?
He's born with it, yeah.
Yeah, like in the Jeff Lemire run, there's flashbacks with his dad, and you could see him playing with Stephen Grant as a kid, right? So it kind of shows, hey, Stephen Grant has always been there. And that's my main concern is how are they actually going to do this? Because they might butcher it, and it might, to especially the mental health community, right? It might look really bad. And those are some of my concerns with the show so far. It's not that the show is poorly written, at least so far. It just feels like, I don't know, it feels like it should have been different, but it feels too similar. Yes, they didn't reference the MCU. You know, that's not my problem. I don't really care if they reference the MCU or not. My issue is, are you going to tell a different story? Is it going to be a different tone? And so far, it's pretty much what we expect from the MCU, right? Like, okay, there's going to be a mystical element. There's a bit of a mystery involved, which they've been doing kind of recently with Captain Marvel had this sort of mystery element of how did she get her powers. WandaVision was a mystery. And those mysteries usually don't play out so well. And again, I'm just very concerned about the show. I don't want to be a damper on it, but as a person who's a big fan of Moon Knight, like I really like the comics that have come out recently about his character. And that's the reason why they made the show, is because the Ellis run and the Lemire run were so good. Like they reinvented the character for so many people. And to not pay respect or at least adapt it in chronological order of the stories, right? Instead of just jamming everything together and being like, oh, we're going to take from this, we're going to take from this. Like it just seems like it's all over the place. So we'll have to see. Maybe, you know, those leaks and those reviews are wrong. But I am concerned. That's really my thoughts on the show so far.
Yeah. I'm a little confused about the show too, man. Like for me, it's like, how does he become like? I think he was born as Mark Spector in the show.
Yeah,
I don't think he was born with the multi-personality disorder. I don't think he was born within the show.
you see, if they do that, that's going to cause some concerns with, again, a lot of people who are advocates for mental health. It's like, okay, so his power is mental, like he's got a multiple personality disorder.
But I think
that doesn't look good.
I know it doesn't look good, but from what I'm seeing is, he was Mark Spector, born as Mark Spector, did whatever Mark Spector did as a right. Went into the god, whoever, not the god. I guess it's a god. I can't.
I always butcher the name.
Yeah. Gives him the power of Moon Knight, but something else develops that the mental illness, personality disorder. So it gives him the Stephen Grant personality, and I know the mental illness health experts are going to be pissed off about it, but I think that's what Disney is doing. Like,
yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah.
Right. But I can't really see. I mean, are they going to do flashbacks with his dad? And, because his dad was a rabbi, right? Yeah. And, he talks about it a lot. And at least recently now he starts talking about it, right? I think in the new Moon Knight, he had like a line about how he could never be like his dad. I don't remember the run. I was watching a video about it. But he was talking about, oh, my dad, I could never be my dad because my dad was such a nice guy and I'm this evil person because I have this multiple personality disorder and I like to kill people and I'm a mercenary. So I'm so messed up in the head and stuff. And it's obviously I don't know who he was talking to, but he was like, hey, no, you're not, right?
Yeah.
But the character is a dark character, right? You can't really MCU him, in my opinion. It's like MCUing Punisher. Like, it's not going to work.
No, because my other point was, it seems like Steven is not aware of Mark, but Mark's aware of Steven.
Yeah, because Mark is supposed to be the one who's the center,
Yeah.
But it seems like the show is actually going to make Stephen Grant the center focus,
Yeah.
which again, as I was saying in the spoilers, that could be because Mark Spector is not that interesting
Yes.
of a character in the show, at least.
I mean, yeah. But Steven, like, he's not aware of Mark, but Steven just, you could tell Steven's been having nightmares. Otherwise, he wouldn't like shackle himself to the bedpost, his
Hmm.
front door. It seems like, and then I thought Arthur Harrow as the cult leader for what admit. Well, yeah, the gods admit. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't think they were gonna, like, right away, man. Like right away in the first episode, like they wouldn't go like with the villain, but I think right and because he knows it's Mark, right? He knows Mark Spector. He's ran into Mark Spector before, Moon Knight before, because he could tell
Yes.
when in the village, right? And what I like, I don't know if in the U.S., but in Canada, um, when he's being being attacked by the
The
cult
cult
leader,
members.
cult members,
Yeah.
he's afraid, and all of a sudden he was afraid, right? He was afraid, and all of a sudden, for a few seconds, they're all dead and they're all bleeding, and you can tell that's the persona when Mark Spector took over. It's
Mhm.
like,
That was a
right?
good scene, by the way. I did like that scene.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then they ran into each other to the museum, and then he had to work late. I mean, he's basically he knows so much about Egyptian mythology, but he's basically a seller. He just has to sell souvenirs and stuff.
Mhm.
And then he saw Arthur Harrow, right? And then Arthur Harrow, he knows who he is, and like, I think. Do you think he believed that that Mark Spector's? He thought. Do you think he thought that Mark Spector's pretending to be somebody else?
I didn't really get that
Neither
impression.
did I.
I think he didn't understand that there was other personalities, right? Just like us. Like the whole point of that episode was, okay, Stephen Grant is the point of POV character, right?
Yeah,
So for the audience, it's like, oh, what the hell's happening? And for that, like it makes sense to do that. Like Moon Knight is very complicated, but as I was saying, he's complicated because of the lore that has been added onto the character. So it's like starting off in the first Iron Man and you're explaining all this stuff about extremists and all these different
yeah,
villains, and you don't need to do that, right? You just need to be very simplistic, right? It should have just been an origin story about Mark Spector becoming Moon Knight. Yes, it's a little bit generic, but Moon Knight is a little bit of a heady character, and I don't think he really matches with the current MCU. Yes, he's a Marvel character, but this is another thing that I always say: Marvel comics is not like the MCU. It's
no,
not. It's very, very different, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, what I was saying, all of a sudden now people think, oh, Marvel is the one that's goofy and silly. No, that was never the case. Marvel was the edgier one, and DC was a little bit more goofy, right? Only recently DC started to be a bit edgier with, when the Dark Knight Returns came out, then they were like, okay, hey, let's do a little bit more edgier comics, right? And that's why you had like Green Lantern and Green Arrow. That was a very edgy comic. It was exploring Speedy's heroin addiction, stuff like that. So, I don't worry with people who say stuff like that. I'm just going off of the comic. I'm going off of what I see and how I feel about it. And again, it's not a bad episode, right? It was well shot. The performances were probably the best part of that episode. Oscar Isaac did a phenomenal job. I know a lot of people don't like his accent, but the character was supposed to be kind of goofy anyway. So, that was never an issue for me.
yeah, like the way the way Oscar Isaac played up Steven was great because he could tell he's been dealing. Yes, he has demons. Like he has demons, and he's afraid around people. Look, if you didn't watch the episode, he tries not to go to sleep.
Hmm.
Right? He has demons. He's dealing with demons, and like he's afraid. You could tell he's afraid about being around people, and he's dealing with a lot of stuff. So I think he played that very well. And then he obviously gonna get the Mark Spector persona where he plays a more obviously he's gonna play Moon Knight. He's gonna play like a
Mhm.
no nonsense tough like Moon Knight. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
like Mark Spector is attached to the Moon Knight persona,
yeah, exactly.
and so spoiler alert, Stephen Grant is attached to the Mr. Knight persona. That's how they're going to do it in the MCU. So they're not separate personalities; they're actually attached to existing personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's this one idiot neurotic who says, "Oh, the Moon Knight's being Mark Spector or whatever. Moon Knight's being it's a beta male because of the scene, two scenes. One of them is with the old woman in the elevator, and I don't think he understood what that scene means.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
saw that. It was weird. It was weird commentary.
I
oh
mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if Narada can't find anything woke, what's he gonna do for his content?
Yeah, but I mean, like to call him a beta because what? He's kind of a bit of a wimpy guy. I
I mean,
mean,
I think anybody would be afraid if you saw stuff like I
there's
think that could
there's
condition.
so many characters that are wimpies, though. You know what I mean? It's
I would be afraid too if I saw something like that chasing me down the hallway to the elevator. Like
yeah, that's a yeah. I can't believe he was even using that scene as an example. It was weird.
it's it's really stupid. It's really really stupid. Like, and then he saw that scene. He saw, and then he talked about the scene we saw with the archaeologist. I think that's Lyra, right? That's it. And she's taking control. But you know that because you know why? Because that was Stephen Grant. That was Stephen Grant, not Mark Spector in that scene that she's trying to protect from Ethan Harrell. Not Ethan Harrell. I keep calling Ethan Harrell. I keep Ethan
Ethan
Harrell.
Hawke, Ethan Hawke's character.
Yeah, Arthur Harrell. When they're running away from him and that archaeologist, that's Stephen Grant, not Mark Spector. Of
Mhm.
course, he's like being protective of him. It's stupid. And yeah, they summon Anubis. Anubis is the end, and that Moon Knight punched.
Or I don't think that was Anubis. It was probably like some jackal-like creature, because Anubis is the Undertaker
Yeah,
of
but
of
yes, you're right.
yeah.
But Anime is the goddess of judgment.
Yes, yeah.
That's why. That's why Arthur Harrow is kind of like not. I want Ethan Harrow is kind of Arthur Harrow. It's kind of works for her in a way. It's dedicated his life to serve her, right? And he's the
Mhm.
one that decides, based on her word, if you if you judge if you judge like if you accept it, right? Basically into the underworld for good judgment. And he obviously saw it in the town, that old woman.
Yeah, the old woman, yes.
Yeah, it was not. But like, right? And I admit, yeah, and like, I mean, I would think Anubis would have a connection to Emmett though.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, I think they're all going to be. Well, my theory is, as I think I've told you before, just watching the trailers, was that Arthur is actually Shadow King or Shadow Knight. My mistake. That's my theory, right? Because Shadow Knight in the comic was actually Mark Spector's brother, and I think that's just probably a little bit too confusing to do in a story in the MCU. So to make him just like change it out and make him like a cult leader who is trying to actually take over the spirit of Ishnu. By the way, I will continue to butcher these names. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at
I
it.
think he said it right.
Yeah, but I think he's chasing Mark Spector down to actually get Ishnu. That's what I believe is
Yeah,
happening, right?
yeah,
But also too, again, I don't want to go too again. I kind of spoiled a little bit, but there is something that happens in the end of the fourth episode that is like the Jeff Lemire run, and it throws a wrench in everything. And I don't know if they confirm this, but they kind of did hint to it because if in that first episode you actually see Crawley, right,
yes,
the
yes.
old man,
Yeah,
and so that right there is a dead giveaway of what's actually happening. If you read the Jeff Lemire run, you should be like, okay, I understand why things are a bit weird. That's all I will say. But if you could puzzle it together, you'll realize what's happening. And another character that was hinted that completely, because I was always on Twitter going, "Where's Frenchie? I want Frenchie. He's the best Moon Knight character." Okay, and he is in the show. He was actually one of the persons that Mark actually called, the only other person besides Laura. So I thought that was interesting. I hope because they haven't confirmed who's playing him, and who knows if he's actually even in the show. That may just be an Easter egg. So we'll have to see, because Frenchie's a cool character.
There are rumors that there might be a season 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt in my mind that there would be a season 2. There's a lot that you can do. Like I was saying, he has personas of Spider-Man and Captain America and Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure people would love to see
That's not gonna
Oscar
happen.
Isaac. I could see them do, not maybe necessarily those characters, but I can see them picking another character. Like they could still do Captain America, but just have Oscar Isaac play him. That'd be really weird. And the show is kind of
half of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, if they're allowed to do Spider-Man, but I think that would be interesting. They could do that. It'd be fun because this show's already reminding me of. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Mr. Robot, but it's giving me that kind of vibe. Yes, that off kind of weird vibe, and that show had a lot of weird things going on in it. So it would be interesting to see them do other heroes as his persona.
Anything to say, George? If you have anything else to say?
No, I'm fascinated by what Blinded Braille's been saying because I don't really follow Moon Knight comics, so I find it to be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, you should definitely, if you have the chance, I would just read the Ellis run. Warren Ellis, I'm pretty sure that's his name. That came out in 2014, and it was very simplistic. These are like anthology stories, and that first one, or there's one that I really love, where it's him investigating this fungus in this guy's apartment, and he goes on this like really like almost like an acid trip, and the art is fantastic. I love that run so much, and it's very simple. There's not a lot of interconnecting stories. It's just sort of Moon Knight being this detective, being this crime fighter, and he's just going around, investigating stuff for Shield, and then there's a sniper and he's got to take down the sniper. It was really good. It was fantastic. The rest of the run though, because they changed writers, I think Colin Bunn, he was writing Deadpool at one point, but he took over and it kind of was it wasn't as good. But the next run I would recommend recently was the Jeff Lemire run. Those two are the ones that everybody's recommending because they're so good. They're amazing comics, especially the art. The Jeff Lemire run by Greg Smallwood. And Greg Smallwood is a fantastic artist. Fantastic, unbelievable. So I would recommend those comics. Then there's also Bendis also did a run too. So recently Moon Knight has had some interesting cult following runs. Everybody would say that he's a cult classic kind of character because he was underground and not a lot of people knew about him, and he was very weird, obviously. But he's a good character. He's a very interesting character. If you love Daredevil and the dark side of, Marvel comics, then you'll love it. That's my recommendation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't want to judge it too much. I think I was doing that a little bit, but it is what it is.
I think Moon Knight's going to be the hardest one for people to, not like you, but the general audiences to understand the show.
Yeah. So I'm glad that people like it so far. That means the character has some potential.
Well, everyone except Grace Randolph.
Yeah, well, another person, I didn't know this. My friend actually had to tell me. Sorry. Angry Joe actually gave it a bad review.
Angry Joe?
Yeah, and I know Angry Joe, I don't really care for him too much, but I was curious because he actually went into some in-depth about it, and it was quite interesting to hear someone who doesn't know Moon Knight and he was just very confused by the whole thing. And he watched all 4 episodes, right?
Oh yeah, of course. He's a
So
big
I'm very curious to see how people react to that 4th episode. That 4th episode is going to throw a complete wrench into the story.
Hope so. I mean, like, I like that. I like when there's a twist in shows when it makes
I
sense.
mean, there's only 6 episodes, so
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
But this show is very inspired by like Fight Club and Mr. Robot and 12 Monkeys, and that's what it feels like to me, at least from a story perspective.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end it here. Actually, a little bit less than 2 hours. But thank you all for coming on. Like seriously, I'm gonna let you plug your stuff. George, go ahead and we'll go to Blind Braille after. Obviously. Go ahead.
Okay, you can find me at Just George. I'm gonna do my review of Morbius tomorrow or rant. I honestly have no idea at this point. Next week I'm gonna be be away on vacation, so I'm not gonna be doing any videos from like the weekend of April 9th to 16th. But once I come back, I'll be doing some more Marvel stuff in preparation for Doctor Strange 2. So yeah, just catch me at Just George.
Go ahead.
So you can find me at Blinded Braille on Twitter. Right now, I'm on hiatus, so I didn't really want to stream, but I came on just because I haven't been on for a while. Want to support Aaron. Other than that, yeah, go follow me on Twitter if you haven't.
Hey, and you called me out. Well, you called out a bunch of people on Max's channel last night.
Oh, I wasn't. That was all in good nature.
I know. It's funny. It's hilarious.
But Max
Yeah.
was right about that stream. Just saying.
Wow. Uh, yeah, it was a fun stream.
Yes, it was. I was watching and playing some games. So
It got it got a little heated at times, but it wasn't that it didn't get to a point where it deteriorated or it ruined the fun. So,
well, it was a good point though that was being made. So
mhm.
I can understand.
But yeah, thank you all for coming. Like, share, subscribe, do it for George. Tell your friends. Yeah, with that AWO and this fellow panel people. I don't know. I was gonna say panel lights. I don't know. George, Blind Bro, AWO, and Aaron Warrior are out. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Peace.